This story is based on true events. Carla's hands were shaking, not from the cold, from the fall. She was on her knees in the hospital corridor. Her blue uniform was stained with coffee. Her yellow rubber gloves were torn at the fingertips. A mop lay snapped in two beside her. A bucket rolled slowly toward the wall, and a woman stood over her like a judge. Dr. Veronica Van Stoffsveen. Perfect hair, red lips, a blouse cut low enough to demand attention. She looked down at Carla the way people look at trash. "You ruined my shoes," Veronica said, voice flat. Her heels were designer. Her patience was gone. "I'm sorry," Carla whispered. She didn't look up. She never looked up. Veronica crouched down slowly. Her perfume was expensive. Her words were cheap. "You're not sorry," Veronica hissed. "You're just pathetic. Clean this up before Dr. Harrison sees." Carla's fingers found something near the spill. Small, plastic, familiar, dark door. A faded hospital bracelet. The edges had yellowed with age. The clip was cracked. The writing was barely visible. Donor 7,719. March 15th, 2014. It must have slipped loose during the fall. Carla's breath caught. She snatched it fast. She hid it deep in her uniform pocket. Veronica watched the movement. Her eyes narrowed. "What did you do? Just grab?" she asked softly. Carla froze. Then she lied with her whole body. "Nothing," she whispered. Veronica's smile returned. Slow, sharp, I told. "Of course," she said. "Because you're nothing." She stood. She turned. She walked away. Her heels clicked like a countdown. Carla stayed on her knees. Coffee cooled around her. The corridor smelled like shame. Where are you watching from? Let us know in the comments. We love hearing from you. 6 years earlier, Carla walked through those same doors for the first time. Her uniform was new then. Bright blue, stiff collar toned. Her shoes were cheap. Her hands were bare. She needed this job. She needed it more than pride, more than dignity. The head of housekeeping handed her a map. "Stay out of the way," he said. "Don't talk to doctors. Don't touch anything expensive." Carla nodded.
This is the critical area
She was good at being invisible.
Ensure coverage
She practiced her whole life. The first week passed without trouble. She cleaned floors. She emptied trash. She learned which hallways to avoid. Then she met Dr. Richard Harrison. He walked like the building owed him space. Phone in one hand,
Ensure coverage
coffee in the other. He didn't see her. He didn't see the wet floor sign. He didn't see the world beneath him. He clipped the edge of her bucket. Coffee exploded across the tile.
Do you have any idea
His phone
how
skidded
important
and
that data
cracked.
was?
Carla
You
froze.
are
Her heart stopped.
unbelievable.
Her voice disappeared. Harrison turned slowly. His eyes were cold. His jaw was tight. "What's wrong with you?" he demanded. His voice echoed down the corridor. Nurses slowed. Heads turned. Carla opened her mouth. Nothing came out. Harrison stepped closer. He looked her up and
Look
down.
at this mess, Carla.
"You're
Do you
invisible,"
have any
he
idea
said.
how important that
"Act like
data
it."
was?
He walked
You are
away.
unbelievable.
Carla stood in the puddle. Coffee soaked into her shoes. Shame burned hotter than any fever. That night she almost quit. She sat in her small apartment. She stared at the wall until it blurred. She counted her bills. She counted her groceries. She counted the days until rent. One missed paycheck, she thought. And I'm done. She didn't quit. She went back the next day. And the day after. And the day after that. Because Carla needed money. Because her life had no backup plan. Because invisible people don't get to choose. If you're enjoying this story, subscribe now. Months turned into years. And Carla learned the truth about Mercy General. Dr. Harrison was a god here. Chief of Cardiology. Surgeon of the Year. 3 times. His face was on the donation wall. His name was on the new wing. No one questioned him. No one challenged him. But Carla saw what others avoided. She saw him yell at nurses until they cried. She saw him throw files at residents. She saw him treat people like furniture. And he saved his worst for the cleaning staff. "You missed a spot," Harrison would say. even when the floor was perfect. That's why you'll always be cleaning floors. Carla never responded. She just nodded. She just scrubbed. Then there was Dr. Veronica Vance. Veronica wasn't a surgeon. She was Harrison's assistant, his shadow, his shield. She handled everything he didn't want to touch, including the people beneath him. Veronica was beautiful, kind of beautiful that made people nervous. Perfect makeup, perfect clothes, smiles that came with teeth. She smiled when she was
You
cruel.
know exactly
That
what you
was
did
the
with
worst
those samples,
part.
Carla. Don't
One
lie
morning,
to me.
Veronica called her name like a spell.
I really don't know
Carla
what you mean,
budged
Veronica.
it. Her voice was honey. Her eyes were acid. Carla stopped mopping. Yes, Dr. Vance, she said quietly. Veronica walked closer. Her heels clicked like a timer. I noticed you've been near Dr. Harrison's office, she said. Carla's stomach tightened. I'd clean it, Carla answered. And it's on my schedule.
You know exactly what you did with those
Veronica
samples,
smiled
Carla.
wider.
Don't lie to me.
Of course it is.
I
She
really
leaned
don't know what you
in,
mean,
close enough to
Veronica.
steal air. But let me be clear, she whispered. You're a mop with legs. You don't linger. You don't look. You don't exist. She straightened, adjusted her blouse. The smile never left. Do we understand each other? She asked. Carla nodded. Veronica
You know
walked
exactly
away.
what you did with
And
those
something
samples,
inside
Carla.
Carla
Don't
went
lie
cold.
to me.
She had survived poverty.
I really don't know what
She
you
had
mean,
survived
Veronica.
worse. But Veronica felt different. Veronica felt personal. The only person who treated Carla like a human was Nurse Betty Chin. Betty was 58. Gray hair, tired eyes, of a voice like warm tea. She had worked at Mercy General for 30 years. She had seen everything. She said very little, but she always said hello to Carla. Always. Without fail. One evening, Betty found Carla crying in a supply closet. Veronica had humiliated her again. This time in front of patients. Betty didn't ask questions. She sat on an overturned bucket and waited. Finally, Carla spoke. Why do they treat us like this? Carla whispered. Her voice cracked. We're people know. Betty sighed. Because they forgot, she said. They forgot where they came from. Carla wiped her eyes. Did Harrison forget too? She asked. Betty's expression shifted. Something careful flickered there. Harrison came from nothing, Betty said quietly. Carla went still. His mother cleaned offices, Betty added. Just like you. The words didn't fit the man Carla knew. Not with that cruelty. Not with that pride. Betty leaned closer. People who climb fast kick the ladder down, she said. They're afraid someone will see the bottom. So they erase it. Carla swallowed. And Veronica? Carla asked. Betty's face hardened. Veronica is different, she said. She's not climbing. She's controlling. Betty stood slowly. Her knees cracked. Be careful with that one, she warned. She doesn't hate you because you're beneath her. She hates you because you remind her of something. Of what? Carla asked. Betty paused. Then she shook her head. Nothing you want to carry, she said. And she left. 3 weeks later, Carla understood what Betty meant. She was cleaning Harrison's office on the late shift. Empty hallways. Quiet elevators. Just her card and a humming vacuum. A folder sat on his desk. She should have ignored it. She always ignored personal things. But this folder had a code stamped on the tab. Donna 7719. Carla's throat tightened. Her hands went numb. She told herself to walk away. She didn't. She opened the folder. Medical records, transfer documents, consent forms, and one page that changed the air in the room. Recipient, Richard M. Harrison. Date, March 15th, 2014. Organ, left kidney. Donor, anonymous. Code donor 7719. Carla sat down slowly. The room tilted. Her ears rang. She had given half of herself to a stranger, and that stranger was her boss. The man who called her invisible. The man who crushed people for sport. Her breath shook as she reached into her uniform pocket. A faded hospital bracelet. The edges had yellowed with age. The clip was cracked. The writing was barely visible. Donor 7719, March 15th, 2014. The same code. The same date. Carla's stomach turned. She could tell him. She could demand recognition. She could watch his face crack. But what would that change? He would still be a god. She would still be the woman who cleaned gods. Carla closed the folder. She put it back exactly where it was. Then she did something she hadn't expected. She felt lighter. For a moment, she felt relief. She had the answer now. The question that haunted her was done. She could move on. She could stop wondering. She almost smiled. That was her mistake. Carla left the office. She walked through the hallway. She heard her own footsteps. For the first time in years, she thought, maybe I can survive this place. She went home and slept hard. A deep sleep. The kind of sleep you only get when something inside finally stops running. If you need to know what happens next, hit subscribe. The next morning, everything changed. Carla arrived for her shift and found chaos. Police cars in the parking lot. Reporters at the
Don't
entrance.
say anything to the
Staff
police until our
whispering in
lawyer gets
clusters.
here.
Betty
They're
found her
looking for a
near the
scapegoat.
elevators. It's Harrison, Betty said quietly. Her face was pale. A patient died on his table. Carla's chest tightened. What happened? She asked. Malpractice, Betty whispered. The family is suing. The board is investigating. His career might be over. Carla should have felt satisfaction. Justice, people would call it. But she didn't feel justice. She felt something heavier. Because somewhere inside that arrogant man lived a piece of her. A kidney that kept him alive. And now he was losing everything. That afternoon, Carla pushed her car down the admin hallway. She saw Veronica leaving Harrison's office. Veronica carried a file box. Her face was calm. Too calm. Carla kept her eyes down. She moved slowly. She listened. Veronica didn't notice her. Veronica never noticed her. But Carla noticed what Veronica carried. Medical files. Legal files. Folders that should never leave the building. Carla's mouth went dry. What are you doing? She thought. The answer came a week later. Harrison called an emergency meeting. His voice sounded hollow. His face looked gray. The board wants my resignation, he announced. His hands shook. Veronica stood beside him. Posture perfect. Smile barely hidden. We'll fight this, Veronica said smoothly. I have everything we need. But Carla saw something in that touch. Not comfort. Control. Veronica wasn't helping him. Veronica was owning him. Carla watched for days. She cleaned slowly. She moved quietly. She listened carefully. She became truly invisible. And she learned the pattern. Veronica had copied the malpractice evidence months ago. She held the pages like a knife. If Harrison survived, Veronica rose with him. If he fell, Veronica sold him. Either way, Veronica won Tonchi. Carla understood now. Veronica wasn't just cruel. Veronica was a predator. So Carla asked herself one question. What do invisible people do when they finally see the trap? One night, Carla stayed late. The hospital was quiet. The lights buzzed softly. She walked into a bathroom near Harrison's office. She locked the door. She stared into the mirror. A woman in a faded blue uniform stared back. Her eyes were tired, older than her age. 6 years, Carla thought. 6 years of scrubbing. 6 years of swallowing words. I saved a man's life, she whispered. And he never learned my name. Her reflection didn't answer. But the question stayed. Who am I? A cleaner? A donor? A nobody? Or someone who could change everything? Carla stared at herself until her throat burned. I'm not invisible, she said finally. Her voice cracked. They just refused to see. She breathed in once, then again, and she made a decision. Not revenge, not silence, something else. What? The next morning, Carla requested a meeting with Harrison. Veronica blocked her, of course. Dr. Harrison
Look,
doesn't
I
meet with
understand your
cleaning staff,
hesitation, but we have
Veronica
protocols
said
for a
coldly.
reason.
Her smile was
This
sharp.
isn't the time for
Know
procedure.
your place.
We need to act
Carla
now.
didn't move. Tell him it's about donor 7719, Carla said. Her voice did not shake. Veronica's smile flickered. Confusion flashed. Then suspicion. Wait here, Veronica said tightly. She disappeared into Harrison's office. 2 minutes later, the door opened. Harrison stood in the frame. He looked smaller somehow. Defeated. Come in, he said. Close the door. Carla walked past Veronica. She did not look at her. She didn't need to. Inside, the office felt wrong. The awards looked like props. The certificates looked like paper. The donation wall photo looked like a lie. Harrison sat behind his desk. Carla stood across from him. Veronica positioned herself by the window, watching, guarding. Donor 7719, Harrison said slowly. That's my donor code. His eyes narrowed. How do you know that? He asked. Carla reached into her uniform pocket. A faded hospital bracelet. The edges had yellowed with age. The clip was cracked. The writing was barely visible. Donor 7719, March 15th, 2014. She placed it on his desk. The plastic looked small, but it filled the room. Harrison stared. His face went white. His hand reached out slowly. This is the donor's bracelet, he whispered. His voice broke. Where did you get this? Carla took a breath. 10 years of silence. 6 years of humiliation. All of it led here. From my wrist, she said quietly. 10 years ago, I gave you my kidney, Dr. Harrison. Subscribe now. The truth is about to come out. The room went silent. Harrison's mouth opened. Nothing came out. His hand trembled over the bracelet. Veronica stepped forward. This is ridiculous, she snapped. She's lying. She's trying to manipulate you, Veronica added. Carla turned slowly. For the first time, she met Veronica's eyes. Really met them. I have the records, Carla said calmly. I have the consent forms. I have a scar. She lifted her uniform hem slightly. A faded surgical scar crossed her side. The proof lived on her body. Harrison pushed back his chair. It scraped loudly. His world was collapsing. You, he whispered. His voice cracked. You would clean my floors, he said. For 6 years. Carla nodded. Every day, she said. And Harrison's voice caught. He couldn't finish. You called me invisible, Carla said. Her voice was steady now. You said I would always be nothing. Tears filled her eyes. But she didn't stop. But 10 years ago, Carla continued, I gave you half of myself. A stranger I never met. Because I believed everyone deserves a chance to live. She looked down at the bracelet, then back at him. Even people who forget where they came from. Harrison collapsed back into his chair. He covered his face. His shoulders shook. For the first time, Carla saw him as human. Not a god. Not a monster. Just a broken man who hid inside power. Veronica didn't soften. This changes nothing, she said sharply. She moved between them like a wall. So, she gave you a kidney, Veronica said. So what? She's still nobody. Carla's jaw tightened. And what are you, Veronica? Carla asked. Veronica's smile returned. I'm the one who controls everything, she said. Including him. She pointed at Harrison like he was property. I have the malpractice files, Veronica continued. Her voice dropped. The ones that could save him. Or destroy him. He does what I say, Veronica finished. Or he loses everything. Harrison's head snapped up. His face changed. Horror, thought. Then rage. You've been blackmailing me, he demanded. You hid evidence, he shouted. Veronica shrugged. Insurance, she said. Everyone needs insurance. Then, just for a second, her mask slipped. Her eyes flicked to the door. Not like a queen. Like someone trapped. Carla saw it. A crack. And behind the cruelty was something else. Something desperate. Veronica's voice lowered. You don't understand, she said, almost a whisper. I didn't grow up in halls with portraits. She swallowed hard. I grew up in waiting rooms, Veronica admitted. In foster homes. In debt. Her fingers curled against her own palm. My mother needs care, she said quickly, like it hurt to say it. And the bills don't care how moral you are. Harrison stared at her. Stunned. Veronica forced a smile back onto her face. So yes, she snapped, louder now. I control what I have to control. For a breath, the room held that truth. Then Veronica looked at Carla again. And the cruelty returned like armor. Even cleaning ladies with scars, she spat. Carla reached into her other pocket. She pulled out a small device. A recording app was running. I've been invisible for 6 years, Carla said. You learn things when nobody sees you. Veronica's face drained. You recorded me, she hissed. Everything, Carla said. The blackmail. The hidden files. All of it. Carla looked at Harrison. The evidence you need is in her apartment, Carla said. 3rd drawer of her desk. She told her sister on the phone, Carla added. I was cleaning outside her office. Veronica lunged forward. You little. Enough, Harrison said. His voice was thunder. Veronica froze. Veronica, Harrison said, cold and clear. You're done. Rickard, I was protecting you, she began. You were controlling me, Harrison cut her off. You hid evidence that could have saved me, he said. You blackmailed me with my own fear. He stood. Something old returned in him. Not cruelty, authority, but aimed at the right target. I'm calling the board, Harrison said. And then I'm calling the medical licensing board. Veronica's jaw trembled. Her eyes flicked again, quick, panicked, toward the door. For a moment, she looked young. Not perfect. Not powerful. Just tired. Then her face hardened. You think you're better than me? She hissed. Harrison didn't flinch. No, he said. I think I'm done being afraid. Get out. Veronica's eyes snapped to Carla. Hatred burned there. And fear. Fear of someone who finally lost. Veronica grabbed her bag. She walked out without another word. Her heels clicked away into silence. Harrison and Carla stood alone. The office felt smaller now. More honest. I don't know what to say, Harrison whispered. His voice was hoarse. After everything I did to you. Carla looked at him. Really looked. She saw a photo on his shelf. A young boy in warm clothes. A mother with tired eyes. Cleaning supplies in her hands. Betty was right. He came from nothing. He just forgot. You can start by saying thank you, Carla said. Not to me, she added. To everyone you made feel invisible. Harrison nodded, slowly. Tears slid down his face. He didn't wipe them. I'm sorry, he said. The words sounded strange in his mouth, but they were real. Carla stared for a beat. Then she spoke again. My son is sick, she said quietly. She hadn't planned to say it. Harrison looked up fast. What kind of sick? He asked. Carla swallowed. The kind that needs a good doctor, she said. Harrison stood. He walked around the desk. He stopped in front of her. Let me help, he said. Please. It's the least I can do. Carla studied his face. Looking for the old cruelty. She didn't find it. Okay, she said finally. Thank you. Carla walked out of his office. Down the corridor she had cleaned 1,000 times. And now, back in the present, the coffee had dried into a sticky stain. The broken mop still lay where it fell. Carla returned to the spill with a new mop, new gloves, a steady breath. Veronica was gone down the hall, but Carla's hands didn't shake anymore. 3 months later, Veronica Vance stood before the medical licensing board. The evidence was overwhelming. Blackmail, evidence tampering, obstruction. Her license was revoked permanently. Carla watched from the back of the room. She didn't smile. She didn't gloat. She just watched. And when Veronica's eyes swept the crowd, they stopped on Carla. Just once, Veronica's mouth tightened. For a heartbeat, Carla thought Veronica would say something. An apology. A confession. A plea. Veronica said nothing. She looked away, and Carla realized something that chilled her. Veronica had been desperate. Yes, but she had also enjoyed the power. Both things were true. Harrison's malpractice case settled quietly. The hidden evidence proved he wasn't at fault. An equipment malfunction, not negligence. He kept his license, but he changed his practice. He started volunteering at free clinics. He started mentoring young doctors from poor families. He started seeing people he ignored before. One afternoon, Carla found a note on her cleaning cart. "Thank you for saving my life, twice," Carla folded it carefully. She didn't show anyone. Some thank yous are too private to share. 1 year later, the hospital held a ceremony. A new scholarship for underprivileged medical students, named after an anonymous donor. Carla watched from the back. Harrison gave a speech. He talked about second chances. He talked about people who give without expecting return. He never said Carla's name. She had asked him not to. Some gifts are better given in silence. But when his eyes found hers across the room, he nodded once. A small gesture. A private thank you. Carla nodded back. Then she picked up her mop and went back to work. Because she was still a cleaner. That hadn't changed. But everything else had. Later that night, Carla cleaned Harrison's office one last time. She was transferring to the new clinic. A promotion. Better hours. More respect. On his desk, she found an envelope. Addressed to anonymous donor. Never sent. Carla opened it. The letter was dated 10 years ago, right after his transplant. "Dear donor, I don't know who you are. I will probably never know. But you saved my life, and I have spent every day since trying to deserve that gift. I wanted to find you, to thank you, to tell you that your sacrifice meant everything. But I was afraid. Afraid you would see who I really was. Afraid I wasn't worth saving. So I became someone else instead. Someone powerful. Someone untouchable. Someone who would never feel weak again. I think I lost myself along the way. I'm sorry for whoever I hurt while I was hiding. And thank you for giving me time I didn't earn. Richard Harrison." Carla read the letter twice. Then she folded it carefully, and she left it on his desk. Some letters aren't meant to be sent. They're meant to be found. Carla turned to leave. Then she noticed something else. A second envelope, tucked behind the pen holder. Newer paper. No stamp. It was addressed in neat block letters. To donor 7719. But the handwriting wasn't Harrison's. Carla's pulse jumped. She looked around the office. The window was dark. The hallway was empty. No footsteps. No voices. Her skin prickled. Who put this here? Betty? Buddy? Veronica? Someone from the board? Carla held the envelope for a long moment. She didn't open it. Not yet. She slipped it into her bag, and she walked out. Some secrets don't end. They wait. This story was inspired by real events. Names, locations, and certain details have been changed, and events have been dramatized for narrative purposes. How would you rate this story out of 10? Tell us in the comments. We need your support, please. Like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Thanks for watching, listening.